Shitload of sports. Halfway through the season, who's going to the big series at the end? I have no fucking idea. But I have a couple of good educated guesses. And here I am with Joe.
It is actually a little bit past the halfway point, obviously.
Yeah, a little bit. But what's officially the halfway point? All-Star game? Is it game 82? What's the halfway point? The halfway point is when, there's the dog days of summer, I guess.
Yeah, and when you start seeing who's the pretenders and who was contenders, if you will. I always look at the All-Star break, but it was a little bit past the 81st game this year, so who's to say? But whatever we're going to say right now, what we think is going to be, because we did not do our preseason thing. We never got it done. Hey, we're busy guys, Yeah. We were out there fucking going to glory holes and shit.
And not shaving.
Not shaving. I shaved down here. But yeah, so we're gonna talk a little bit about the postseason. Who's in first place and who's contending for a wild card and who's gonna fade away as the dog days of August are upon us.
All right, let's go National League since they are the senior circuit, so they should go first. And let's go as far away from home as possible. Let's go out west.
L.A. Dodgers.
L.A. Dodgers are winning that division. So the L.A. Dodgers are going to win the division.
They're up by, 15
They're
games?
70-39 right now.
But how many games are they? I mean, not that even
They're
matters,
up by 15 games.
I was going to say.
And the San Francisco Giants, in the crowd with Mad Dog Russo, are 54-53. So, I mean, they're the closest team to them in this. So, right now, in the West, the Giants win that division.
The Dodgers.
Hands down. The Dodgers, I'm
Brooklyn
sorry.
Dodgers.
Brooklyn Dodgers.
Yes.
The Trolley Dodgers win that division.
The boys of summer.
San Francisco, Arizona, San Diego, and Colorado. Two teams are at 500. The other two are below. I don't think we're going to see anything from the West except the Dodgers, in my opinion.
I agree. The Giants have made a nice little run since the All-Star game. But I don't see them being a wild card contender once it's over and done with. But LA all the way on that division, and probably we're going to be talking a little bit more about them as we move on in the rounds. But okay, so with Central.
In the Central, we have, as always, the Cardinal way. The St. Louis Cardinals have overtaken the Cubs for the number one spot.
Amazing.
They're one game. Yeah, they're consistent. Every year.
The whole division is pretty fucking strong this year.
This is a strong division. They got three teams that are, within a game or two of first place. It's the Cardinals, the Cubs, and Milwaukee.
Brewers, yeah.
The Brewers, I think, will be the ones to overtake that division.
Really?
I think the Cardinals will be right there with them. I think to the end it's going to be a dogfight, but I think the Brewers, they have a strong team. They have the experience from last year, the run they made. Yeah. I think they get more juice from their fan base when their fan base is... I mean, being in the stadium a couple of years ago, I saw it. It's just... That's a loud place. The roof was closed. It's a loud place. I think they get a lot of juice from their fans. I think the Cubs are still hungover from their World Series win in 2016.
It took so long.
They're still celebrating that, and rightfully so. I mean, that was a great team, and it was a great win, and a great series against the Indians. I mean, that went to the end.
Fucking awesome, that series. Yeah.
So I think I could see Milwaukee walking away with that division, with St. Louis getting a wild card spot.
The Cubs are the Cubs going to be a second wild card? Or are they going to be the outside?
I think they're going to be on the outside looking in.
What's the game back situation right now?
Cubs are a game back. Milwaukee's a game and a half back.
All right, so they're real fucking bunched up. Top three.
I just don't like the Cubs' away record. They're 20-32 on the road, and
got to be 500 on the road if you're a winning team. You got to play 6 to 750 ball at home.
They're 36-18 at home and 20-32 on the road. So obviously they're not
big stat right there. Yeah, that's a good. And for comparison's sake, what are the other two teams on the road?
St. Louis is 500 on the road, and Milwaukee's 3 games under 500 on the road. So
so they're pretty much where I just said my stat.
When you're 12 games under 500 on the road, then you're not.
It's a long way to go.
Yeah, you're gonna have to play road games. You're gonna have to play road games.
You gotta play 750 ball
in August
500
in heat. Major league heat. So no pun intended. Then we go to the East. The Atlanta Braves look like again. They've come far from in just the last couple of years. and they've overtaken the Nationals and the Phillies for the top spot. They're 6 games above, and I think that they will continue, especially if at the trade deadline, which is just about now, if they're able to pick up another good starter, another good bat. I think they'll be able to pull away.
They get one good week, they can pull away.
Yeah,
one good week, and the other 2 teams have a slow week. They can be 9-10 up before you blink your eyes. So.
Right, and I think the dogfight that we're going to watch is going to be between Washington, the Philadelphia Phillies, and the St. Louis Cardinals for the 2 spots. Those 3 teams dogfighting for 2 spots.
What is Nationals and
the Nationals are 57-50, Phillies 56-50 right now.
Nationals started off the season terrible.
Now
they made a great run.
The one thing that you got to say is the
Scherzer.
Nationals are without Scherzer right now.
Again.
He
just went back on the DL again.
Knowing him, he might come back. I mean, he's 35 years old, so it's a tough sell to tell me that he's going to be able to recover
and be where
he was. But if anybody's going to do it, he's going to do it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put my money. If gun to my head right now, it's going to be the Phillies and it's going to be the Cardinals in the wild card, because the Phillies are just stacked. I can see, knowing the Mets' luck, the trade that the Phillies made for Jason Vargas. Jason Vargas does not lose a game for the rest of the year.
And Jay Bruce hits 10 more
And Jay Bruce hits 30 home runs for the season. Just because that's Met luck.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting. But if I could make a prediction, it's going to be Philly and St. Louis with the wild card, with Milwaukee and Atlanta winning that. And if that goes that way, then once the playoffs start, we'll be back here giving you our playoff predictions. But right now, I don't see anybody beating the Dodgers.
I'm going to throw a curve, and I'm going to say, obviously, I'm going to agree with LA. I'm going to agree with Atlanta. Central, I'm going to say that you're going to get both wild card teams out of there. I think that the way it's bunched up now, you're going to see it bunched up. I think it's going to be Milwaukee, St. Louis, Chicago for the wild card. Chicago and St. Louis. I have a feeling that the Nationals are going to run out of gas only because they had such a great run. It's hard to maintain that.
Sure.
Then they were like way under, and then all of a sudden now they're double digits over. They're 7 over, right? 57 and 50. You said.
57-50.
50, right. So they're 7 over after they were like 13 under. I mean, they were fucking terrible. And they've made a great run, but injuries and age sometimes catch up. I think losing Harper was a tough one. The Phillies seem to be making some right moves. Things are kind of breaking well for them, but I just have a feeling that they're not going to be there. I put more faith in the Cubs and Milwaukee, and St. Louis is just one of those teams that just always looks good. But when it's all said and done, LA will be making another appearance in the Fall Classic.
I agree 1,000% with your
final destination.
Your final destination.
Wild card.
I could understand what you're saying about the Cubs and
I think it's just the toughest division.
And the Nationals. I could see because you being a National League East fan, you've seen the Nationals run out of steam.
Yeah, they've done it. Yeah, they've had some tough
either
years.
They run out of steam in the playoffs or they run out of steam beforehand. So
yeah.
I could see it, and without Scherzer, I can understand your logic there. I just don't see the Cubs making the playoffs this year. But again, obviously I have been mistaken more than I have been right. So
yeah, well, that's why we're middle class.
That's right. Let us go to the junior circuit.
The American Association.
And
Van Johnson.
And let us head out west.
Again,
we have the on top and getting stronger, the Houston Astros with 8 games over 500, 8 games ahead of the Oakland A's, who are playing 565 balls. So.
Remember when the Astros were losing 99 games a year not too long ago?
Not too long ago.
And that team won to a tougher league
compared to they were what, the NL Central?
Yeah. But
were they the NL West?
Well, originally they were the West.
They were the West, but what did they go to? They were the.
I think they were in the West in the NL, and then went to the.
So you're right.
They switched.
You're right.
But I look at the American League as a tougher league because of the offense, obviously, because of the DH, and Houston has gone there, and all of us just it all gelled, and they have been a fucking powerhouse since then.
I think once they got Altuve, bringing in Verlander, Keuchel was great for them. Bringing in Verlander was, they've just hit all the right buttons.
Yeah,
and everything seems to have worked out for them. Their pitching was, a little suspect last year. This year, they seem to have completely turned it around.
Even without Keuchel, they've replaced him and moved on without him. They could have brought him back at any time.
And really. Charlie Morton went over to Tampa.
Yeah.
So, but
that's a great fucking team.
Yeah.
Offensively, defensively, pitching. I mean,
the other team,
winner.
It's a dangerous division. That division, though. I mean, you do have Oakland, who's again in it every fucking year. Billy Beane, that is, as you know, he's not the GM, he's the president, but he runs that organization.
He makes the calls.
Gets
on base.
He's Jeff Wilpon. He makes the calls. Brody Van Wilpon.
Paris.
They're 61-47, so they have a shot.
What, the A's?
Yeah, they have a great shot at the wild card.
What a fucking organization.
The LA Angels are, you can't sleep on them. They're 56-53, so they're right there too, and they have the greatest player in baseball.
Yeah.
So, depending on what they do at the trade deadline, they might turn around and make themselves quite a run. And even Texas looks like sellers, but at 53-54, they're not out of it.
No.
Not by a long shot.
No.
But they have their dog days coming up, which is August. Playing in August in Texas
that's a tough
is
place.
Misery.
Yeah.
So, and then Seattle is 47-63. They look like they're done with it. So I could see Houston winning that division with, Oakland representing the wild card. I think the Angels in Texas are a little too far out, even for a Mike Trout to carry the team into the playoffs. So I think Oakland, is, definitely has a shot at the wild card.
No rally monkey this year.
Okay. In the Central, it's pretty tight between two teams, Minnesota and Cleveland. I mean, the White Sox, Kansas City, and Detroit are all pretty much 20 games or below back.
They're terrible, yeah.
So it's going to be Cleveland and Minnesota battling out for
the top spot. Who do you like to take it at the end of the day?
I got to think Cleveland makes that run and jumps
totally
up.
Agree. Yeah.
Terry Francona has the history on his side of being a great
postseason.
Not even just postseason manager, a great late season run manager. He knows how to get the best out of his players.
Even with the Bauer trade, they still need some pitching. They, like we was talking on the other episode, they brought in some right-handed power hitters. Mm-hmm. It's American League.
He can control guys. I mean, even with Bauer, with all the issues supposedly surrounding Bauer,
they hated him in the locker room.
When he threw that ball over the center field fence and he turned around, he did not give a minute of lip to Francona. He just said, "My fault. I'm sorry." He just
don't
said,
matter.
He goes, I'm frustrated.
Damage was done.
And Francona made a great point. He really did. He goes, I'm more concerned about injury on you.
Yeah.
You throwing that ball over the fence, I'm worried about you hurting
rotator cuff.
Tearing your rotator cuff or hurting yourself.
It was a nice fucking throw.
Yeah. He said, I understand you're frustrated, you had a bad game, that's good, that's heat, that's passion. That's what we want. But A, don't hurt yourself, and B, don't be an asshole.
Don't kick the dugout step like Pat Zachary.
Or don't Brett Gardner the fucking helmet, throw it against the wall, and then have it come back and smack yourself in the face. Don't do stupid shit.
Yeah. Don't beat up water coolers.
Well, that was Paul O'Neill. Don't take a bat into the bathroom behind the dugout when Zimmer's taking a shit and start beating the stall, not knowing Zimmer's in there. Poor guy almost had a heart attack.
Fucking Popeye can't even shit in peace.
So I see Cleveland taking on Minnesota. Minnesota hanging around for a possible wild card spot.
I'm with you on that.
The East, the New York Yankees.
Oh man, fucking. What a job by Keith's favorite ball club. I have to say, they have missed... He's so fucking glass half empty. I'm a Met fan, and I am so impressed by what the Yankees have been able to do, fucking wire to wire, with huge key members of their team out for extended periods.
Severino Stanton. No.
Still out.
Listen.
And they're fucking up comfortably
understood
in the division.
When, as a father of two, when you watch them do something, and I'm a father of two, when you watch them do something, you're proud of what they're doing, you're happy what you're doing, but you're also looking for the mistakes they're making to try to correct them to make them
you did
perfect.
great.
You did great, but now you don't say that. You always
Think
compliment
that.
first.
Yeah.
But so not saying that the Yankees are my children by any stretch, but you're always looking for how can we fit. I'm a severely appreciative of everything they've done this year, but to get the engine, all 8 cylinders cranking, I think that they need another starting pitcher. But
I agree with you on that.
I think they're going to wind up winning the division. Boston's making a run, like you knew they would.
They had to have.
Tampa's hanging around.
They're going to fade. How many games are they up right now?
They're up 7.5 on Tampa and 9 on Boston.
Tampa's going to fade. They're not a
Toronto and
team.
Baltimore are
They're terrible.
over 25 games out, both of them.
Brutal.
So.
Boston's going to make a nice run. I don't even think they're going to be able to make up all of that ground and make the postseason. They might. We're going to talk about that in a moment. So they might. I don't think the Yankees worry about losing. But when you're a Yankee, you don't give a shit about division championships. Right. You don't even care about pennants. You want fucking World Series rings. So the Yankees, to me, they're going to have a great season. They're going to fucking make the World Series against the Dodgers. That's my prediction. I know we're going to do that later in another show. Mm-hmm. I'm not ready to make a call on that one yet because I want to see what they do before this deadline is done.
I agree.
You know what? Or even the waiver fucking deadline.
There is no waiver. This is it.
Oh, this is it. There's no August 31st.
There's no August 31st this year. That's why this is should get off the pot.
Oh, see, Keats. That's why I have this fucking guy next to me.
Yeah, it's all about shitting this year.
All I'm doing is thinking about masturbating the lesbian.
And I'm talking about shitting. Getting off the pot.
All right, so because I was going to say, even if they get a late season guy that passes through waivers, they'll eat the money because the Yankees don't care about money.
This is a do or die July 31st.
Yeah. All right. So I think the Yankees are going to make. So we're pretty good on our division winners here.
Yes.
We're pretty all three divisions.
So who's your 2 wild cards?
Who's my wild cards? All right. I'm going to go with the Athletics. I like the Athletics a lot, and I think it's going to be a dogfight between the Twinkies and the Red Sox. I'm going to say I'm going to let the Red Sox take it only because Minnesota was winning that division for so long, and Cleveland had another team that had a brutal start like the Nats, but Cleveland's been able to move up further. I think Minnesota got a little, I think that panics them a little bit when they're in the first place for a long time, and the team everybody expects to win that division, the Indians, are having a bad season. All of a sudden, they chip, and now they're in first place. So I think the Twins are going to falter. I think Boston will barely make it. I think it'll be the last game of the season. They'll make it, but I think they're going to be a quick out also. I think Oakland will Boston in the wild card game.
I agree with Oakland. I think the Twins have just too much
to withstand it.
No, Twins have just too much of a lead right now in games and where they're at. And I think, when Joe Girardi said, he was interviewed, he said the Twins are the best team in baseball right now in the American League.
Really?
And he said that
Surprise.
Before Cleveland made their run. No, this was this year, and it was early July. So,
but they were still in first at the time.
And they're still in first now. We're the ones bouncing them out of first.
How many games?
They're up by 3 games.
They're up by 3. Okay, I thought Cleveland actually overtook them at one point. Didn't they overtake them at one point?
It was close. I think they were even.
Okay,
then,
I know at one point I remember seeing Cleveland was.
So I think Cleveland wins that division. I think the Twins and the Athletics play, and I think the Twins knock off the Athletics. Ooh. And then the Twins have to go to New York and play the Yankees, who will have. Who have to go to either Houston or New York.
Who's got the better record right now, Yanks or Astros?
Astros.
By
2 games.
All right, so that's we'll see. But both teams. I think at the end of the day, it's going to be Houston and the Yankees again.
Yeah.
In the ALCS, which will be a great ALCS, and I do feel comfortable and confident that the New York Yankees are going to move on.
I think you're absolutely right. It's Houston and the Yankees, and it really depends on the next week. If the next week, fuck that. The next 4 hours.
Yeah.
What
Which
does
team
Houston do?
makes a fucking last minute
if
deal?
Houston sells the farm to San Francisco and they got Madison Bumgarner, I'm going to have to go with Houston.
That's a big addition. Yeah.
I mean, this is all ongoing, folks. Right now, this is how recent we are. But I'll put my faith in the Yankees and pulling it through. I think they're gonna get some horses back. Stanton. I think Jordan Montgomery comes back.
He was a very important piece.
Yeah.
Spot starter, the long man in that playoff run a few years ago. I mean, Montgomery, he's been out. He was hurt last year too. Stanton's barely fucking been able to play this year. They've had a lot. Torres is out a lot. Andujar's out. I mean, they've missed.
Voit apparently needs surgery now.
Voigt's out, and obviously, the fucking pitching has been changed. When your ace is out all year, and you're still 6-7 games up in what people deem to be a pretty good division.
Brian Cashman, thank
GM.
you so much. You had
GMs.
Tulowitzki. We didn't feel him when he didn't play. Look who's going to play first now. The guy who's probably going to win the AL batting title, DJ LeMahieu, is going to go to first base, and they're going to put Rochelle at third, Torres, Didi. You're not going to miss a beat if Voigt's out.
LeMahieu was a great pickup when they made it. We were speaking in the gym. We both liked it. As a utility guy, we didn't know he was going to be as steady as he is, so you find a place to play a guy like that, wherever it is. If it's bouncing him around, well, he can play anywhere, that guy. So... kind of like Jed Lowry with the Mets.
Well, that's what we said. We were at the Met game, and I said, Joe, what's the difference between the Mets and the Yankees? He goes, what? I said, the Yankees can lose Troy Tulowitzki, never have him play an inning of baseball and not feel it. And the Mets fans are like, where's Jed Lowry? We need him. That's the difference.
Yeah, and that's why the Yankees are the Yankees and the Mets are the Mets. Yeah. But, Cashman did a magnificent job in the offseason. And fruits of your labor right now. You're seeing it now, but it means nothing. If George was still alive, he'd say, I don't give a fuck. Who cares about the fucking AL East?"
He would have flown in Baumgartner and said, "I'll give you a plane to go hunting on the weekend. Just come here."
Yeah, he would have made a deal he would have traded, sell the farm literally in baseball. But I like our predictions. I think they're pretty close, and we'll see what happens, man.
All right.
We will talk to you guys on the next edition of A Shitload of Sports.
Thanks again.